We are live, guys. Welcome back to the Diaspora Channel. I'm Kai Gabiam, and thanks again for tuning in. Happy Friday to you all. Salut tout le monde. J'espère que vous allez tous bien. Bienvenue sur Diaspora Channel. Ce soir, j'ai Afua BONI avec moi. Donc, c'est un mannequin, une panafricaniste, et elle va partager son parcours et ses expériences avec nous. So, guys, I have Afua BONI with me this evening. So, Afua, please go ahead and introduce yourself and share with us what you do.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. My name is Afua BONI. I am known as a model, and I was born in Ghana, raised in Germany for 14 years. And then I was thinking, okay, let me go and discover the world. So I came to America circa 16 years ago. And over here, I relaunched my modeling career. Actually, let me go back. I started modeling at 14 in Germany, and I was discovered. And then I took a little break around 19, and then I relaunched my modeling career probably 5 years later in America. So I've been known as a professional model for 13 years. And I have graced many magazines, runway shows in LA, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been doing runway ever since I was 16. So yeah, that's me as a model, and that's it for that. So, do you want to tell me? You want me to tell you more about what else do I do? I have become an advocate for models of African descent. So, what I do is I encourage and train models or aspirant models to become the great models that they can be, and teaching them how to be themselves and not to follow the Western standards.
I like
So,
that.
it's very hard. It's very hard to actually be against that because
Mm,
everybody pushes you into that direction. And I think to be a great model, you have to stand up for yourself and you have to embrace the unique look that you may have
mhm.
instead of becoming one of many looks that there are. So this is a little bit about.
Definitely, that's very important for you to embrace who you are and present yourself just as God created you. You don't have to be, the copy of the
Right,
next person. So
right.
I like that, and that's a very important thing to do, to embrace, to encourage the young girls out there to be confident in, who they are, and go
Hmm.
out, and do what they are called to do. So, if I know you first, you went to Germany at like very early,
Hmm.
at a young age
Yes.
before going to the States. So, what were your experiences living in Germany?
Well, growing up in Germany in the 90s, actually, I got to Germany right when the wall came down. So that was a very interesting time period. The Berlin Wall came down, and I remember being in elementary school. I mean, I'm not sure how they call it, elementary, preschool. I was, and they were chanting, kick the foreigners out in like a song. Like children were like walking around, kick the foreigners out, like joyfully. And I had just gotten there, so I didn't even know what they were saying, and I was just joining them. And later on, I found out that they were actually talking about me. So that was the innocent, part of me. But I have to say, growing up in Germany was a life lesson because I learned to be around people who can just hate you because of your skin color, which was very, very strange to me. I had never experienced that, and it was quite shocking to see that people who call themselves your friends or teachers or people are just in mentorship positions can just, treat you a certain way because of your skin color. So I had gotten into a lot of fights. I was very feisty. I was in, very athletic, doing, track and field, playing volleyball and doing these things. So I was very athletic and I wasn't afraid to get into a fight, even though I wouldn't instigate. But I have gotten into some fights because of that. And it was very, as I said, in the 90s,
Mm,
a lot of people coming from, Eastern Germany, they were not used to a lot of Africans or foreigners in
mm,
general. And around that time, actually, they were, killing people, setting houses on fire,
wow.
throwing, Molotov cocktails into this one house that had like 6 children. They killed all these people. So that's what I grew up with in Germany. And have to say, I have a German stepfather.
Oh,
So I live with a German stepfather, and it's a very personal stories that I have not shared
mm,
with a lot of people, but I have learned to live with Europeans or Germans or Caucasians all my life. So
mm,
I have studied them, and I do not hate anyone. I don't hate any
mm,
white person. I don't hate any Asians, anybody.
mm,
I just see a collectively there is a understanding that we cannot share
mm,
us as Africans or people of color, as the people like to say, brown and black children. It's just
mm.
an understanding that is very hard for me to compute because it's just to me it doesn't make any sense. But nonetheless, growing up in Germany, I was very outspoken and gotten in a lot of troubles, of course, speaking out my mind. And I was still very a happy child. And, despite all the racism and, things that were, coming at me and seeing what was happening to other people, um, I just learned to study those, who reveal themselves as haters per se of Africans, and I know how to maneuver and move around it. Sometimes you just gotta walk away from them. And if you can walk away, you gotta be a little bit more intellectually, um, inclined, where you find yourself, okay, if I cannot beat them at this game that they have put out, we need to go within and, learn and make sure that we can bring forth our, you know, um, economical values and other things that can help us to move forward as Black people or as brown people in this
You are so right. You know, it's very, very important for us to know, especially when you were in Africa, you don't necessarily know what is happening, to our brothers and sisters in the States, because we feel like, oh, everything is fine. They are great. Everything is how it's supposed to be, because that's
world.
the image, that's how they portray, the blacks in America to us on the continent. So, like
Right.
I said before, is more about, like, just more like the videos you see, rappers, singers doing their thing, So for us, we will come. We're like, okay, they are great, they are good, everything is good for them. Then you come on this side and you start seeing, like, whoa, you know, our brothers are going through a lot. And
Yes.
just to find out, like, oh, it's not a recent thing. What do you have to say to, first of all, our brothers in the States? I'm
Hmm.
referring to the constant police brutality. What
Yes.
do you have, what advice or what can you say to them, knowing that you live there as well? and then also the one on the continent. Because when you don't know, most of the time, I'm not saying everyone on, everybody over there tends to
Mm-hmm.
almost worship the oppressors. So I want you to know what can you say to our brothers and sisters in the States and the one on the continent.
Hmm. That's a very tough question to ask. Well, but then again, it is almost impossible to react correctly when a police officer comes with the MO to come at you no matter what you do. So my I'm not sure if I can say I'm giving an advice to my brothers out there, but I think the biggest advice I can give is do not walk alone. Okay. They tend to target a lot of people who are by themselves. Um, they might be, minding their business, doing something. Obviously, Ahmad, who was jogging by himself, if he was with a few people, I'm not saying it would have saved his life because you never know how people think, especially the racist people. But I can just advise my brothers and I'm just saying, do not be by yourself. Go in groups, at least two, three people to have, some type of protection. It's unfortunate that we have to give out advice to be to our own brothers and sisters to just stay alive without even being a criminal. That's already very sad. But I think the best thing that we can advise our brothers and even some of our sisters is, to remain calm because the calmer you are, the more aggravated they get, and then they realize, okay, even now with the time that everyone is um, videotaping and recording everything, your best chances to maybe stay alive, and unfortunately, I have to say maybe, is to remain calm and, you know, uh, unfortunately, obey their demands. Even we have seen many times people have obeyed, they have not resisted arrest, and they are still gunned down or killed or choked. Unfortunately, these things, it's really really hard. But I would just say remain calm and just do as they say, um, and hopefully that will not be the end of yourself. It's just it's really really hard to actually give an advice because if someone is coming at you with intention to get you, no matter what you do, it's really hard to react the right way. You know, to my brothers and sisters in Africa and the diaspora, um, we are people and we are trying to emulate our brothers and sisters in the States, in the UK, in the diaspora. So when these things happen, and it may not happen in our own countries because we don't have necessarily racist police officers, but the thing is, we need to be aware that these things are happening somewhere else, and knowing that we need to educate ourselves and not be ignorant to the things that's happening and not say, why is this happening right now? It's been happening. Like these things have been happening for years, decades, and centuries. And our thing is in Africa, we need to educate ourselves about these things, not just be in the moment right now and understanding what's going on. We need to go back in the history and understand where all this started. For instance, a lot of people don't know anything about the Willie Lynch letters, but these are certain, things that we can start reading and understand. Maybe not necessarily understand the point where they're coming from, but at least know that this has been institutionalized, this has been put into play, this has
Mhm.
been out there for so many years and centuries to put us in shackles and keep us in shackles no matter what. So if you're resisting an arrest because you know you're right, they will make you feel like you're doing something wrong, even though you're just exercising your human life and rights. I'm sorry. So I think we need to educate ourselves, we on the continent, to be a little bit more aware what's really going on and not be just coming in and say, oh, okay, this is just happening. Maybe he just did this one. Because some people don't even think. They're always asking, what happened before? What happened before the
Mm.
video? What happened before the police officer shot this person dead? What happened? Why, they want to justify it because
Mm-hmm.
they feel like it's impossible for a police officer to go this ballistic.
Mm.
And it is possible, unfortunately, it is happening. So it's not necessarily what the person did, no matter what the person did. There's
Mm.
no way a police officer who have gone through training
Yes.
should react this way,
Mm.
especially when a person is detained. You know, it's not giving you any threats. There shouldn't
Exactly.
be any excessive force
Mm.
towards someone in a group where you have your three, four other police officers on top of one person who's already detained. So
Mm.
these type of situations you need to ask yourself, is this necessary? Is all this force necessary? And I
Mm.
have to say, it boils down to fear. It's fear that is driving these people to go this crazy because there's the fear of the black man. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Even if he's calm, they feel like there is something boiling within them. And I have to say, if we were that hostile, if we were that dangerous, this
Mm.
place would look totally different. This place would not look as beautiful as these people are thinking. If we
Mm.
were that wild and crazy, this place wouldn't look like
Oh,
this.
yeah.
So,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
we have been so docile, we have been so calm. It doesn't even get calmer than that. I
Mm.
think people have the mantras all day. Do not get enraged. Do not get enraged. I think that's like something that people tell themselves in their head so they can just stay calm because this is aggravating me and I'm not a man, but I can see what's happening. I
Mm.
know this is aggravating and frustrating and hurting so many other people. And, we're not going out there going crazy, shooting and killing white people because individually they haven't done anything to us. But collectively, they need to stand up and, do better. It's really bad.
You are right on that. And one thing mentioned that I thought about as well, people have to be in groups. They just have
Hmm.
to try because it's easier to attack one person than 5 or 10 groups of people out there. So for now, I think that has to be a way of living for now. Like when you go into the grocery store or anywhere out there, maybe jogging, make it just like a group of people, maybe five, three, in your neighborhood. So you don't end up being out there by yourself for them
Right.
to know that, oh, there is no one around, or they will do whatever they want to do, which is, pure wickedness. Because
Hmm. Hmm.
if someone is already on the ground, handcuffed, it's like 4 or 5 of you. What can that person really do to you? So you know that the intention is just to kill the person on the ground, because they can't do any harm to you in that state, even if they are, no matter how strong you think they are,
Hmm.
you know that they can't do anything. So if you end up, you know killing that person or hurting that person or harming that person, before even you leave your house, this is what I plan to do, or this is what I supposed to do when I see someone that looks certain way. So
Hmm.
it's down to us now, to try to do things together for now. And then the constant the protest, it can be just for few days or few weeks. And I said that last week here. If people have to organize themselves, the one that go to work in the morning, they go to work. If they come back from work, do whatever they need to do, they can do the marching in the afternoon or the evening, because this have to be every single day, because they do it every single day. So we can't just
Every
do it
day.
for, exactly. We can't do it for, let's say, 2 months and then relax. You understand? We have to
Of
find a way
course.
to keep doing this thing. And if you're out there watching this from Africa, you have your parts to play in this. They have their embassies everywhere in Africa. Talk to people, come together. You are a pastor, you are a preach, a priest, whatever you are, you have your role to play for this to stop, because we are not going to tolerate this anymore, like any longer. It's just way too much. Knowing now that it's not something that is been happening maybe for the last 2 years or the
No.
last 5 years, knowing now that it's been happening for centuries. Like,
Yes.
it has to stop, like, right now. So that's what we need to do. The marches, the protests, everything has to be every single day till they get the message very, very clear that this is no longer Black people. We're not
It's
gonna
not
sit
acceptable.
down,
Not
and
acceptable.
it's not like we can't act, do all those things they are doing like animals. It's not like, but we are not like that. That's why people been, be composed, polite, and all that. But now we have till up till here. There is no
Yes.
more room, no more room. So that's the mindset we should have. And the protests, like I said, every single day. While we carry on, posting, adding the hashtag, doing everything we can do, the marches, the protests, and everything we are doing now, we have to be on top of it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we
It is.
definitely
It
have.
is necessary. It is
Mm-hmm.
very necessary that we keep this going. And you know, unfortunately, some people don't think it's that important because they're not like directly affected. Because they don't see that we are all like we are the ones suffering as Black people. So it doesn't matter if you are in Brazil, if you're in Ghana, if you're in Ivory Coast. If a Black person is suffering because or dying or being killed or lynched on the street by a police officer because he's Black, you need to say something, you need to do something. If you even cannot march, you need to get yourself involved somehow. Speak out, write out, read out, like say something, do something, because just because you are not right there doesn't mean that's going to affect you. You are part of that. Like this is affecting all of us because um if if uh if a Black person is killed in Ghana and the whole Ghana is out there, the economy is going to be affected. It's the same thing happening here right now. Like, even though, apparently we're going through this COVID-19 pandemic, for some reason, that has been put on a back burner. Like, it's all of a sudden is not as
Mm,
dangerous and deadly as it was 2 months ago. It's very strange to me that so many people can be marching next to each other, breathing on top of each other with no mask, and nobody's collapsing, and there's no paramedics. Nobody's there.
mm.
People are still breathing, they're still alive.
Yes.
And we need to make sure that if you see a Black person suffering, and it doesn't mean, okay, if he's a thug doing something bad and, excessive force is still not, is still uncalled for. We have seen so many men being shot in their back or
Mm,
running away because they're scared of maybe they haven't, they have a warrant because of child support or something.
mm,
And they're running away because whatever the reason may be, there's still not a reason to shoot the person. It's like there's no point. Why would you shoot that person in the head? Like it doesn't
mhm.
make sense. And so that means it boils down to hatred. It's just
Yeah.
systematic racism,
Mhm,
and the police officers who are in that system, in that government.
mm,
If you are hiring these type of people, if they can hide all the hatred through all these, psychological evaluation and the training, something is wrong with the police department and the police system and headquarters
Yes.
and whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot tell me that so many people
Mm.
um are just, fed up with whatever. Like I don't even, sometimes I'm lost of words because it is so unfathomable to look at these things
Mm.
every day. And I have compared this to slavery, where when people were shackled up and they saw
Mm.
their brothers and sisters running away
Mm.
and they were taken back to the plantations, and then they chop off their foot or their legs because they start running away. I see this as the same thing. You are resisting arrest, right? Resisting arrest, you're not even doing anything, and
Mm-hmm.
you're being killed is considered you being a bad person. Back then, they used to, that's when they reinforced the police to go and collect and summon the runaway slaves. They used the sheriffs and the police to do that. You know what I mean? So they were working in the interest of the plantation owners or whatever, the state, the city, or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
now you use these same people who were running around chasing and hunting um, black people who have been
Mm.
enslaved for not
Mm.
even doing anything, just for running away into their freedom. Now you're doing the same thing for little things. Are you killing and choking someone for selling cigarettes? Like, are you serious? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it boils down to the system. It's not even a police officer or a bad police officer. It's a
Mm.
bad system. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah,
bad system.
I,
Like,
I agree.
you sending a bunch of bulldogs in the
Mm.
neighborhood of just black people,
Mm.
bulldogs who are ready to go and just punch children. Like, I have seen videos they're punching pregnant women.
Wow.
Like, it's unreal. And you don't want to fire these people. Why are you even hiring them? Like, what type of psychological evaluation are you actually doing? Like,
Mm.
what does the training entail before you even hire these people? What is happening here? So these are the questions we need to ask. And my brothers and sisters in Africa, we need to understand that this is our fight first,
Oh,
because
yes.
we are
Yes.
more colonized. These brothers and sisters over here, they're actually understanding what's going on, and they're still living in slavery,
Mm.
physical slavery. They're still
Mm.
living in it. If they're not incarcerated by 16 for life as an
Mm.
adult, they are running. Like, if you're not somewhere in college, even college doesn't protect you anymore, because you can just get killed. Because how dare you trying to be in an Ivy League college or university as a black person? Who gave you that opportunity to do that, where we see police officers shooting around in colleges? Like, it's ridiculous. But our people in Ghana and Africa and the continent, they need to understand that this affects all of us. We are a part of it. And if we as Africans don't see that, where we understand, okay, America is where I'm getting all my inspirations from, right? America is where I'm getting all my fashion sense, my music, and all that. These are also people, America is also where I'm getting my empathy from, where I'm understanding that these are my brothers and sisters going through this. Even though I'm not going through it right now, it is still happening. And you need to see yourself a part of this fight, because it's it can be right there in your house tomorrow. It can be right there. It's the same thing with the COVID-19. When it started, oh, it's in China. Oh, the Chinese people got that. So I'm here. I'm good. Look at this. America is the ground zero of freaking COVID-19. It has more than 1 million people infected. It has over 100,000 people who are already dead. And these are people, when I was posting about that in January, February, they're like, yeah, it's in China. It's in Asia. But now it's all over the world. Every country has at least one victim. So this can turn around so quickly. Unfortunately. So we are all a part of it, especially in this race, in this fight of, racism. Like, we are the most affected. It doesn't matter where you live. You can be anywhere, and it's still a part of it because it's your skin color that's been displayed as threat. You know, if you're black, you need to be a part of it. It doesn't matter where you are. And I think that's like the most important thing that we need to let our brothers and sisters know in Africa, that especially us, we are, a target, because even if it's not the police brutality, it's something else that they come with. Fertility clinics, sending us bad food, um, GMO crops to destroy our natural crops, you know, pushing all kinds of things at us, vaccines, fake vaccines, diseases, people coming with NGO titles, and they're only, people who just want to take advantage of little girls, and people who are just vulnerable and just trusting, unfortunately, because we see that, the Western, when someone comes from America or from the European countries, we see them as a savior. So whatever is happening, we just hand out our children. It's ridiculous. So we are more affected, and even we should even more outraged than anybody else. So that's my stand and my tip to my family in Africa.
And you are right. That's I understand what you said, and I feel the exact same way.
Hmm.
So you're black, you black. That's how they see all of us.
Yes.
So you can't just be cozy somewhere and saying, oh, it's happening only on this state, so this side of the state we are good. No, 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 no. So that's why when I see all these manifestation protests in Paris, or even on the continent, some people go
Hmm.
like to the embassies, things like that. That is the only way forward. Like, wherever we are, we have to do this, constantly,
Yes.
every single day, because they are not stopping. Right, right now it's just like, okay, they are on a break for now because so many people are making lots of noise. So
Yes.
once we calm down a little bit, I'm sure they will attack again. So this, we have to be on top of it.
Of course, we have to be on top of it, and it is like, 1 week is something, and I have to say, we as Africans or Black people, we have
Mm,
this amnesiatic thinking. When something happened today and
mm,
tomorrow something else happened, we totally forget about what happened then, because
mm.
we're so, like, they know how to, like, push things in your system, in front of you, that you get totally caught up. And I feel like, um, obviously there's too many victims, obviously, and we have to understand that it is very important that, even if you're not writing down the names of the victims, you remember them, and do something even for yourself, where, okay, you need to sit down your children and explain to them what's happening, right? You need to talk to the teens in school and understand that, okay, these conversations need to take place, right? Even the problem with school systems not giving enough attention to, the transatlantic slave, they did not talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to even, bring it up. It's all about what they have accomplished, right? But the problem is, you need to, if you're talking about history, if you're talking about something, you gotta start where it really started, where we know Kemetic history, ancient Kemet, is something that we know is happening then, and people know that, okay, everything that we know now came from there. It's not from Greek or Rome or Italy. It's from Africa. And knowing that, if you know your history and if they teach the history in school, it will be a little bit better, where there will be more respect of Black people. But unfortunately, when they talk about Blacks or when they talk about Africans, it's all about
Mm,
slavery.
mm,
And so with that mindset, they devalue you as a human already, because
mm.
they do not see you as equal. For
Equal,
them to
exactly.
even for them to even acknowledge you to be a part of the system, it's
Mm,
hard for them, because they've been told these are slaves, these are children of slaves, and we are better than them. Even though
mhm,
you have to really understand that collectively, there's
mm,
only maybe 500 million Caucasians in this world.
mhm. And they will call you minority.
Right. To call you minority because you're in their country as a minority, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're the majority in the world. And it's just, if people
That's
would
what
even
we should
understand
remember.
it. So if you have 500 million people, and out of the 500 million, probably a million people who are running
Mm,
this place, and they're causing havoc and having their agents and trolls all over the place, you
mm,
have to see like 7 billion people need to stand up and just say, okay, this is enough. You know what I mean?
mm,
But the problem is, people will not do that because they see that as prosperity. If you're going to the right place, if you're going with the current, you'll
mm.
be better off, right? And I think if you're smart and you see the injustice is happening, you can say, I really don't care about the current. Because if the current is to discriminate blacks and every brown person and paint the world white, that's not something that's right. And that's like being off balance, because you cannot just say everything is good on this side and everything is bad, when in their eyes, what is bad is black, but black people or brown people are the majority on this planet. So if we're just a few people can paint the country or the world white, we really need to come together and say, hey, this is not the way to do it. Like, apparently, if it wasn't me, you wouldn't be here. Like, when people are not understanding that, you know, there are certain people who cannot live for a long time unless they stay just amongst themselves. And we as Black people, we need to make sure that we know that, because um, we can change the course of these 500 million people in just 10 years. Like, we can just make them vanish in just 10 years, but they're not even aware of that. Maybe they're even aware of it and we're not aware of it. If just a few of us are aware of that, that's not helping. So we need to educate ourselves in these type of things, because we are the majority out
And we have to always remember that. That's why quickly, I said earlier, they'll make sure that, they'll keep saying minority,
there.
minority. So you
Yes,
just feel like, it's just a few of you guys. But we have to remember that we are the majority.
yes,
So it's
yes,
us, the whole, global Black family together.
yes,
So
yes,
the message has to be very, very clear. Now, if you come for one, you're coming for all of us. They have to
yes,
get that like that,
yes,
because that's exactly how it's going to be now
yes,
onwards. So they have to get that clearly. If I know you are working on so many projects:
yes.
Chocolate Beauty, 12 Queens, and your Sika Putro e-commerce
Yes.
place. So can you, tell us more about your different projects you're working on at the moment?
Awesome. Thank you for asking.
You what?
So, Chocolate Beauty is catered to my sisters and brothers, children of color, to embrace their beauty. So I started Chocolate Beauty actually at the age of 14. I started braiding in my mom's beauty supply in Germany as a professional braider. So when I started, I was braiding all my friends' hair. Some of them I dated their hair for like years for free, you know. So when I started doing that, I okay, this is another personal story. So my stepfather is German, so it's a very sad thing, but I have to tell the story. So growing up in Germany, I always loved Afro. I always loved natural hair, and I never wanted to really have anything like wigs. I used to look at wigs like, why are people wearing that? So as a teen, I wanted to get my hair braided. My mom actually sat me down and she braided my hair. I was so happy, looked so pretty. My stepfather came and cut it off. After 6 hours of braiding, he came and cut it off. So that was like one of those painful.
Really?
Yes.
Who gave
So
him the permission?
he did that when she wasn't looking, and he told me I need to integrate into the European look. Yes.
Wow.
So he forced me to perm my hair, and I permed my hair, and I used to perm my hair for like, gosh, 10 years. And then I came to America, and then my hair fell out.
Mm.
So I was getting my hair permed, and obviously I have gained some immunity against, the really, really tough perm and super, super strong perm creams. And so I fell asleep. This lady put the perm on my hair and I fell asleep. And, because of miseducation, or, the longer you sit, the better your hair gets and softer.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
in
I remember
Africa.
that.
Oh, yeah, sit
And
down,
you'll be
sit down.
burning. You'll be burning. Oh my goodness.
So I was sitting there falling asleep and the lady is talking. So I finally wake up and I'm like, oh no, I
Sorry,
still got this
Esther.
thing on my head.
No,
It
that's
is
not
funny
funny.
now, right? It is funny now, but it was painful. I was so hurt. So I woke up. I woke up from my little nap and my hair was like, I was like, oh no, I still got the stuff in my hair. So she rushed me and washed my hair, and my hair was like, I touched it and it was almost like my skin. It was so soft and I had like no texture. And she said, this is good. This is good. So I put on a ponytail for like 2 days. And
Mm.
2 days, when I took that ponytail, all my hair came out. All my
Yeah.
hair. Yes, all of it. Like I had the front was still okay, but the back was gone. And
Mm.
back then, my hair was like right here, my natural hair. I mean, my permed hair. So I had to cut off my hair, and that was in 2004. When I cut off my hair, I
Mm.
started pressing my hair. I learned how to press and do all that. So
Mm.
that's like a story why I'm telling you I love braids. So when I had those braids in Germany, my
Mm.
stepfather came and cut them off. So I started perming my hair for like 10 years. And then I cut my hair off. I dyed it blonde. And then I went to Paris because
Mm.
I lived like 4 hours away from Paris. And I
Mhm.
went there and learned how to weave because I was watching these girls doing this amazing job. So
Mm.
I learned how to weave and then pretty much, took over my mom's salon. And I was pretty much the main braider and doing these things, weaves and stuff like that. So when I came to America,
Mm.
um, you know, after losing my hair and cutting my hair, I decided to get back into the love of, doing hair because I was actually doing hair at the ladies' salon who, burnt my hair. So as a braider, that was my first job in America, braiding hair.
Mm.
So when I had the opportunity, when I moved to New York, I had the opportunity to take over a salon.
Okay.
I did that. So and I was still modeling, doing runway and running a salon in Jersey. So
Mm.
I called it Chocolate Beauty because I want to cater this to my, people. And I was pretty much
Mm.
um, converting people from perms into natural.
Mm.
So I was helping them convert. Every 2 weeks, I would tell them, okay, you need to
Mm.
wash your hair, you need to shampoo your hair. Come to me. I shampoo your hair, I flat iron, I wrap your hair so you learn how to wrap your hair when you go to bed. So it
Mm.
doesn't look crazy when you wake up, so you don't feel like you need to keep pressing and perming your stuff. So
Mm.
come and let me teach you. Let me give you a course of how to take care of your own hair with natural products. And
Mm.
so I pretty much, took like I think 12 people away from perming. And that was like a big deal for me because if I can convince an adult who's
Mm.
having her daughter come getting her hair permed every month,
Mm-hmm.
which is also very bad because if you're perming your hair, you should probably do this 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I know. I know.
So I was, educating them, and
Mm,
and my thing was, I was putting inspirational pictures on the wall. So I plastered my whole salon with
mm,
beautiful models with Afro hair. I will buy those magazines, Hype Hair, Black
mm,
Women's Hair, and take those pictures out of those breaks, and then just post them on the wall. And I had like a huge collage in my whole salon, huge collage of these beautiful models and hairstyles, so they can identify themselves. So whenever they came, I would say, pick the hairstyle that you want, especially those little girls getting their hair braided and shampooed. I said, you know what? If you pick this hairstyle and you keep it really nice and you return and your hair looks nice and you keep it nice, I will give you something. So I used to bribe those little girls with little earrings and, necklaces and stuff like that, so they can actually get into the program. And slowly they understood. And, of course, I was explaining to them what to take care of. And so, Chocolate Beauty had his first own home in New York. So when I had the opportunity to launch it online, I launched it online. And so I have to say, um, every time when I'm doing a photo shoot and I don't have a stylist, I actually own styles. I do my own makeup. I, do my own wardrobe. I make sure that, I incorporate an Afrocentric look. Like, you will not see me with a weave. You will not see me with a wig. That was back then. I used to do that because I didn't understand, to be unique as a model, you have to stand your ground. You have to remain unique. You don't want to be one of those girls walking around looking like a copycat. So I wanted to make sure that these girls understand to love themselves. So when I do my photo shoots, I make sure I use my own, um, materials. I use my own styling to inspire girls, So Chocolate Beauty was born, and a lot of people know me as a hairstylist besides being a model, because a lot of the pictures that's out there, actually, I did my own hair. A lot of professional models who've been out there done their photo shoots. I've done their hair or I styled them. Fashion shows. I have done productions. Ghana Entertainment Award show. I was styling. So I do a lot of things. So Chocolate Beauty is something that I use to do styling, to do, you know, concept. Like if I have like a idea of, um, bringing it to life. I use Chocolate Beauty as a company to actually get involved in the shoot. And of course, I tag myself as a owner as Chocolate Beauty in my pictures because that's a part of branding. But that's one of the things that I do. So Chocolate Beauty was born obviously a long time ago, but it became more public like in probably let's say 7, 8, 9 years ago. So that's the story about Chocolate Beauty. 12 Queens. 12 Queens is a nonprofit that I've been working on for a very long time, actually 11 years. I was meditating in Los Angeles and I was going through a lot of personal, changes. And I was meditating and I was asking God to give me a sign to do something because I was always a fighter and I wanted to stand up for something that's meaningful in life. And so 12 Queens was birthed. So 12 Queens is something that I use um, to reach every girl. I want to reach every girl on the continent in the diaspora with 12 Queens. 12 Queens is a nonprofit where I use 12 different queens of the diaspora. I handpicked them, I researched them for years, and I have them in a way that I want to celebrate each month of the year a queen. And one comes from Haiti, like Anna Kauna. We have um, Queen Nandi from South Africa. We have Nzinga from Angola. We have Amina from Nigeria. We have, of course, Yasantua from Ghana. We have, as I said, Ana Kauna from Haiti. That's Hispaniola. We have Hatshepsut from Egypt, right? These are some of the queens that I highlight and tell the stories, and these are real people who actually lived and changed the lives of so many people in the world, and we need to use women as an exemplary. So I wanted to pay homage, and I use these women to move around in terms of connecting different countries. So this is still a work in progress, and I'm already talking too much about it. But 12 Queens is supposed to be something that's like a global foundation that's actually bringing everybody together in terms of diaspora, Africa. And I think this will be a very, very great foundation. I have a lot of notable people who are actually a part of it, who are expressed themselves to be a part of it.
Okay.
And so this is something that I'm working on, and it will be great. And it's just it's work in progress. And then Sika Futuro. Sika Futuro is actually a tree word. So tree is my language. So tree
Okay.
word for gold dust.
Yeah. Sika.
Sika means money, and Futuro means dust.
Right.
So Sika Fucho means gold dust, and that's my other name. I use gold dust because me as Afia, I was born on Friday,
Friday.
and in my country, each day of the week we pay homage to a deity, right? So that's why we call Kradim, which means every day of the week you are named after a deity that's ruling over you, that's taking care of you. So you have to pay homage to that deity. It doesn't mean that it's like some figure out there. It's just servants of God, right? Just like angels or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And your name is you're named after them. So
Mm-hmm.
Sikafutro or gold dust is one of the symbols that the fertility goddess, which is Afia,
Mm.
uses to sprinkle around because that's fertility. That's like gold. That's money. I'm passing this on. So I'm using this as a symbolic thing. So
Mm.
a lot of people don't ask me, and I'm glad you're asking me why I'm using it. But everything I do has a reason and a meaning. So gold dust is something that's a part of me that belongs to Efia, to Heteru.
Yeah.
Heteru is a Kemetic figure, and that's the same deity that is named Efia. So it's like a lot of connections, right?
Mm.
So Sikafutro is a company, an e-commerce company that I have launched recently. I'm still like it's not officially launched online, but I'm working on. It's catering to organic and sustainable things, like female hygienes, organic lotions and creams and certain things that people are making money, but they're not really paying attention to your well-being. They just want to make money. For me, it's
Yeah.
very important that I help my people. If I'm making money, I want to make sure you're doing well. I don't just want to make money and you're suffering.
Mm.
I don't want to sell anything that's against me. So I want to make sure it's promoting beauty. It's promoting well-being. So in Sikafucho, I have products that's like for the females. Like if you're, a young girl going through puberty, you want to make sure you get yourself ready. So I have like small bundles and packages and stuff that I'm working on. And I have teamed up with some, people who artisans who
Mm.
bring things from Africa, and I want to make sure I highlight the work on my website, and you can get it here. So that's Sika Future. So I'm working on a lot of things.
Yeah, well, once all your products, are here, you just need to come back and show us your products,
Yes,
and then yeah, I'll probably share also with my viewers maybe a video about it
thank
because
you.
I'm all about us keeping our money within our community. So
Thank
I
you.
think there were let me see maybe one or two questions.
Okay.
To yeah. Well, let's put that here for now. Okay, that not this one. I think Liz was asking something about running your business. What was running business? Let me put that. Yeah. Can you read it or you want me to read it out?
Can you read that for me? Oh, what was running the business like for you?
Hmm.
Um, it was fulfilling. The shop was fulfilling because I was able to be hands on. I actually approached teenagers in school. They used to pass by my salon, and I used to walk out. I say, "Hey, do you want to get your hair braided? All right, come on, come on, come on. Let me show you something. Let's have a deal." So I will braid the hair, and I say, "You bring another person, and you get your hair free. If you bring another person, I'll teach you how to do this." So I was pretty much negotiating with them to. It's a word of mouth type of thing without
Hmm.
promoting much before I even started my flyers. So I was approaching teenage girls or guys because I had a barber too to, talk to their friends, to their peers, and come and get the hair braided. And because I'm
Hmm.
more like the modern type of hairstylist, who's out there in the system and the scene on the
Hmm.
runway. So I was always telling them, oh, you should probably try this one. And, it's really fulfilling to help someone who's willing to be helped,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, they're very negative. Oh, I want my weave and I want my perm and shut up.
That's it.
And you can't do nothing. And you can tell them, I mean, from A to Z, that's not good for them. They do not care. They
Mm-mm.
don't care. They're so brainwashed that they think that's the only thing that's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved
Right.
I loved having the salon because I was helping young girls understand to love their hair
Hmm.
and take care of their hair, and even styling. I had some programs where I would have a makeup artist come in and
Hmm.
teach them how to do makeup, or proms. I used to do the proms, hairstyles. I used to give them like extra, like, oh, if you're having a prom, bring two of your friends. You get your prom hairstyle for free or something like that. So it's all about promoting and approaching the people in the community, and people will embrace you. So
Hmm.
yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. We really need to encourage, especially the young girls,
Yes, yes,
to to
yes,
to to embrace, whatever color, if it's dark chocolate, whatever, a little bit
yes,
lighter, anything, it's
yes.
good. You are enough. They
Oh
really have
yes.
to understand that. So if you yeah,
Uh-huh.
gold anyway, sticker mean the same. Sticker mean gold as well in Togo. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Oh
keep the cook.
really?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's how I
nice.
knew. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, if can you cook any Ghanaian food?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I want to
you
know.
know, that's so funny because when I cook and I take pictures and I send it to my brother, he said, "Ah, so who made this?" I said, "What do you mean?" Yes, I do know how to cook. I don't cook every day, but
Okay, what
because
can you cook? Yeah.
I
I'm not
just
talking
did.
about the jollof rice. I don't want
No, no,
any
no, no, no,
Nigeria
no.
versus Ghana
I
jollof
I know,
rice
right?
on this platform. So
I
let's
did
talk about
okra.
any.
I did okra soup yesterday, actually, just yesterday,
Okay,
and a little bit about my cooking. I don't eat meat,
that's good.
so
Same,
so
same
people
here.
think, so you just want to be skinny for the rest of your life. I say it's not even about that, and I had to explain
Exactly.
this. I had to explain this to my mom the other day. She said, if yeah, all this meat that you used to eat, what happened? She said, sometimes it's good. I said, no, it's not. And then I had to
Mm-hmm.
explain to her, I said, you know what? I'm in America where
Mm.
everything is massive, mass production, mass killing, mass slaughtering. I do not want to have anything to do with all that stuff. The energy, I don't know where the meat comes from. Is it meat? Is it really cow? Is it really chicken? Like, I don't want to ask myself those questions. So when I
Mm.
cook, I'm a pescatarian. So pescatarian is someone who eats seafood.
Okay.
I don't eat all the seafood. I don't eat farm raised fish. I don't eat anything farm raised. So you can imagine I'm spending a lot of money on food because it's really,
Yeah.
really hard to just get, wild caught food.
Mm.
And that's people say, oh, you're bougie and stuff like I'm not being bougie, I'm just taking care of myself.
Yourself.
People
Yeah.
spend money on purses and wigs
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff and shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I make sure I feed myself from within. So that's everybody got their own thing, right?
Yeah.
But I do love cooking. Of course, I do jollof. I do ampessia.
I can see. Yeah.
Ampessia
I
is
love that. Yeah.
yes,
Is it cotonle?
ampessia,
Is it cotonle? Yeah.
contumre, yes. So I do
Right. It's good.
ampessia with garden egg stew,
Yeah.
contumre stew. Ampessia, for those who don't know what ampessia is, it's boiled yams and boiled plantains or boiled cocoyam or boiled cassava, and then you eat it with either spinach stew
Mm.
or eggplant stew or whatever stew that you want. But
Mm.
I don't like a lot of fried stuff, so I like to eat my things more so raw. And people think that's a little funny, but I've always been that way. So I like ampesier, I like banku. I don't do banku, but I buy banku, and
Okay.
then I fry some fish, I go to the fish market and I buy some
Mm.
fish, I fry the fish, and then I
Mm.
make some we call it poto. So we use like those clay
Yeah.
pots, the black ones, and then
Yeah.
I grind my
Round it.
my sauces there. I don't like frying too much, so it's just easier for me. I fry fish and that's enough. So if I'm frying one thing, I don't have to fry everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love cooking Haitian food. I was dating a Haitian, so I learned how to do some Haitian food,
Okay. Okay.
sauce and all these things. Actually, I had cooking in school in Germany, which is not really cooking because but I do know how to do European dishes.
Mm.
Um, big ziti and all these things. Of
Mm.
course, without meat. I love gosh, um, what is it called? Oh my gosh, now I can't even say it. Black and peas. Not jollof. I can't even say it. My own favorite thing. Watch it.
Wache. Oh yeah, I love wache as well. Yeah,
Yes.
with the shito. Yeah. Yeah.
Shito. I make my own shito.
Mm.
So making my own shito takes me 3 hours just to make it. So I know I only make it like every 6 months, but then I make like a big jar.
Big
So
one.
I make
Yeah.
my own shito. I really I like to cook at home. So I
Mm.
don't really go out often to eat unless, it's like something like I want to change or try
Mm.
something new. So
Mm.
I love eating. People don't think that, but I do.
It's good you said that because you have a great body. So what is your workout? Your workout routine.
Well, let's see. I don't really work out a lot.
What do you
The
say?
thing is, however, your
Mm.
diet is 80%. So whatever you put in your body is the most important thing before you even jump to the gym. Like
Mm.
you need to make sure you feed the right food into your body. I make
Mm.
sure I eat the right food. I drink a lot of water, you
Yeah.
know. So especially me not eating meat is one of
Mm.
those things that keeps me lean, right? Um, I have a very fast metabolism, so even if I wanted to gain weight, it takes me a long time. I'm blessed with that. As a former athlete, as a sprinter and volleyball player, it really helps me to keep, my body this way. But I do run. I do run twice a week. I take a lot of walks. Um, but mainly it's just all the way I eat and take care of myself.
Yeah. It works together. You eat
Yes.
well, drink lots of water,
Yes.
and then a little bit of exercise.
Yes.
So, Efia, are you single or you are on the market right now? This is for the brothers anyway. The king
Oh boy.
in the charts is
I am single,
okay.
and that's one of the my mom does not understand it. My dad doesn't understand it, and they're already concerned. Like, if yeah, why? What is this here? Like, why are you not married, have children? And I love children, and I want to have children. I am not in a relationship right now, and as much as I'm looking for, I'm not rushing into it.
That's
I'm
the
very
right way.
picky. I'm very picky, and also I'm very selective in terms of, okay, if I cannot have certain conversations with you, I cannot be with you. I don't want to have your child if I'm sorry to say that, if you're dumb. Like, if I cannot have meaningful conversations, if I cannot ask questions about certain things that's, going on in life, if you feel like these type of questions, or this girl is a too know, she knows everything, she always asking, talking about this and that. Yeah, that's why I'm single. It's just, right now I'm single because I'm focusing on myself, and I want to make sure I find the right partner, and I want to marry an African. And obviously it's not that easy. A lot of men are married, so in America, African brothers are married, they will approach you, and if I find out, I can move on with that. So it's I'm single because this is what it is right now.
It's good. I'm sure, the brothers in the chats, they are happy to know that you are still on the market. So does age really matter to you when it comes to, relationship?
Yes and no. Why?
Okay.
Because uh I'm in my 30s. I can date someone in the 20s, depending on the mindset. I can also date someone in their 40s or 50s. As I said, depend on their mindset.
Exactly.
Are you accepting of the things that I like? Are you open minded? Are you judgmental? Are you set in your ways? Do you even know enough? Have you traveled? Like, I have been exposed to a lot of things, and I don't
Yeah.
say everybody has to travel who wants to be with me, but I have been exposed, so it might intimidate someone. Um, and so, if you approaching me, or if age is not really a problem, but your mindset can be a problem.
That's
Also,
true.
your social stance, like money is not everything. I have run away from millionaires, and it's just because of their mindset and their understanding of, how to treat people. And for me, it's very important you treat everybody fairly, and you're humble. Be humble, and know that everything shall pass. No matter where you are right now, tomorrow you may look differently. So, um, yeah. So age is not really a big deal, but I have to say, my fellow guys in their 30s, I haven't had too much luck with them.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if it's like me because I've been around, like, seen things, or if it's just, when they see you out there doing certain things, they might get
Yeah.
a little bit intimidated, and they feel like you're doing a lot or too much. And I don't, but I have to say, age just shouldn't be a problem, and it's really not
Okay. Okay.
a
Good to know. I'm sure,
problem.
everyone is listening. So, so if you've been living in the diaspora for the
Yes.
last 16 years, right? Or a little bit more.
Well, if you consider Germany a diaspora,
Mm,
and obviously America is a diaspora, I've been
mm,
in America and in Germany. I've been away from Ghana full time 30 years.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Been a
Long time.
long
It's a
time.
long time, right?
Oh,
Yes,
so
yes.
I don't, you have that on your list to go back to Ghana at some point. So what made you decide, to do, like to say, okay, at some point, I just
Mhm.
want to go back home and settle.
That always was on my mind. That was
Right.
never something that I would never like. Africa, I always wanted to retire in Africa.
Mm,
And me being in Germany, that was not me saying, okay, let me go to Germany. It's more so
mm,
that I was taken to Germany. right?
Mm.
But me coming to America is because I was already a college student and I realized Europe is not really something that I wanted to stay. It's
Mm.
not somewhere where I wanted to stay. I didn't see myself thriving in Germany.
Right.
And so when I came to America, it was just another place where I can elevate myself before I retire back to Africa. So
Mm.
America is just, I just happened to stay here longer than I actually lived in Germany. But
Okay.
ultimately, I want to retire in Africa. And the funny thing is, I always told myself
Mm.
that I will not buy a house. I didn't even want to buy a home in America
Mm.
because I felt like I want to own a home in a way that I can build my own house. I don't have to
Mm.
pay rent to nobody,
Mm.
and I know I'm fine. But over here, if you're buying a house, unless you're a millionaire,
Mm.
you pay everything in cash. You will be paying for the house for 30 years, you know? And so just thinking about that, I already knew that I wanted to retire in Africa because first, my dad is a contractor. He builds houses, so it would be easier for me to build my own house. And then also, it's the place that I always feel like I can feel home, comfortable, and feel like this is a place to retire after I have conquered the world.
That's that.
So
That's a good plan. Mm-hmm. I like that.
return to basics,
Mm-hmm.
Sankofa in Africa after you have seen the whole world. That's pretty much it.
That's good. And I'm sure you have some project, once you go and settle over there, you have some stuff already, in mind to do.
Yes. Yes, I've been working on this repatriating to Africa for 4 years. So I
Okay.
have 2 more years to go.
Right.
And ultimately, I've been approached by networks and companies to be a part
Mm.
of them, spokesmodels. And,
Mm.
you know, thank God it has helped me. My modeling has helped me to be also, known in Ghana. Even though I've been here and I haven't been Ghana in so many years, people still
Mm.
know my work because of the international, thank God. Social media and
Mm.
just the community as a model, but and for me, it's very important that I link with the right people. And,
Mm.
I have been doing great networking for the past 5 years, especially
Mm.
since I lived in New York for 7 years. I was able to link with a lot of notable Ghanaians who are actually connected well in Africa as
Mm.
well. So I've been, getting the right connections for the past, let's say, at least 5, 6 years. So definitely, yeah, there are a lot of projects in the works, and I have some movies that I was approached to actually be a part of. So I'm very excited.
Mm. That sounds very, very interesting. So,
Yes.
what advice do you have for the young girls out there, watching right now that will or watch this later that want to become a model like yourself?
All right. The best advice is be yourself, be
Mm.
as natural as you can. Do
Mm.
not follow the crowd, go your own path.
Mm.
Don't take no for no answer from nobody. I have been told no so many times, even by my own family members. So do not take a no for an answer, nothing. Do not let anyone stop you, discourage you. However, you need to have a mindset and understanding. If you want to achieve something, you have to push for it and go for it. If you want to be a runway model and you're a little bit thick, you might have to lose weight. Do
Mm.
that at your terms and make sure you do it in a healthy way. Do not let people pressure you and
Mm.
getting skinny as a stick just because you want to be a part of it. If someone
Mm.
says no to you, turn around and go the other direction and keep going. Do not let these people discourage you. Stay
Mm.
true to yourself and be
Mm.
as African as you can.
Wow, I love that. Ich liebe dich. That's all I can remember. That's all. That's all. But I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's how, young girls out there should move, because
Hmm.
once you let someone start controlling
Yep.
everything, then you're lost.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
It's very
I
easy.
love
It's very easy. You have to have a thick skin And I have to say,
Mm.
Naomi Campbell's and Grace Jones and Tyra
Mm-hmm.
Banks and Beverly Johnson's have paved the ways for us.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
they have not remained authentically Black to me, where I feel like,
Mm.
okay, they actually told the Black girls to be as Black as they can be. They are
Mm.
still, I'm not trying to be negative or say
Mm-hmm.
anything
Mm.
negative towards these icons, but I have to say, like, we need to be able to be our own selves without, putting a wig on, or,
Mm.
and that was something that was bothering me a lot when I was in
Mm.
New York doing runway show. I decided to cut my hair because I refused to wear a wig. I was just like, no, I can't do that. Like,
Not
and even
happening.
I, let me tell you one story. I was a hair model, right? I was a hair
Right.
model, and I was casted for Shea Moisture. Can you imagine? I did the last campaign before they sold the company. So Shea Moisture
Mm.
hired me to be a model to show them or show the world how diverse our texture, our hair is, right?
Mm. Mm.
So I go there. I was very humble to be picked because at that time I had short hair and my hair was like slowly growing. So I said, "Oh, nice! I don't have to put in a wig. I don't have to, perm my hair. You want my hair really like that? Are you sure?" So I went, so I went there, and they had a Caucasian model on the side,
Mm.
and I was a little bit perplexed, and I said, why are you having her hear me? And then the lady said, well, we are having a campaign, an awareness campaign, where we want to make sure that our
Mm.
Black consumers embrace their hair. I said, oh,
Mm.
that's beautiful, right? So they had used the Caucasian girl and put
Mm.
several wigs on her, and it looked, I mean, obviously didn't look that great because they had like textured hair wigs on her, like dreadlocks and
Oh.
braids, and just to prove a point, right? And
Mm.
then they had me in my own natural hair and, coils and stuff like that. Come
Mm-hmm.
to find out that that actually commercial was never used. They actually end up using the one that had a huge controversy where they had the white lady,
Oh.
with the fair skinned lady with the hair, and she said she's a part of that. So that is like a huge story. But pretty much what I wanted to say is that a lot of these companies didn't hire me because my hair was not straight. So
Mm.
they wanted me to be on the roster is also a warning for a lot of aspiring models. If a company or an agency gets you onto the roster, it's just because they want to show the world that they're diverse, but they may
Mm.
not ever hire you, you know? And that's another thing. So a lot of girls want to be official. Oh, I'm official model. I'm signed
Mm.
with this and this company.
Mm.
But a lot of these times, these girls don't get a job. They don't get anything. It's just that on the roster to
Mm.
show the world that the company is diverse. I've been sent away from agencies telling
Mm.
me that they had enough Black girls and that I looked like another Black girl that they had in the on the roster. And there was only one Black girl. And they refused to hire me, telling me that I looked just like her while they were hiring 15 different blonde girls. It happened to me. And one gentleman who was also going into the modeling agency, he was so outraged, he walked away. We're still
Mm-hmm.
friends up to today, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, this is unbelievable that you guys, there you go. He
You're
said, this
good.
is
You're good.
unbelievable
Mm.
that you guys are actually discriminating against her because she's Black. They said, we already have one.
That
And
look
this is,
like you.
these are, yeah, and she didn't look like me. Let me tell you, so she's a friend of mine. She doesn't look like me. But again, she's Black and she had short hair and I had
Mm.
short hair. So we
Mm.
all look the same. It's it's I could go
Crazy.
on and on with stories, but
Crazy.
basically, if you're a model and you want to be in the industry, stay as natural as you can. If you're part of
Mm.
the team with the straight weaves and that works for you, go ahead and do your thing. But
Mm.
ultimately, those who want to be recognized as a unique model who
Mm.
stands up for herself, who's actually
Mm.
speaking out, to be someone who can say, be proud and say, I'm a model of African descent, or I'm African model, and I stand to who I am and my hair texture.
Thanks.
Stand your
Yeah.
ground. Just stand your
Mm-hmm.
ground, and you will find a company or even a agency that really loves your look because the way you look, and not because of what they want you to look.
Mm-hmm. Just like the Alec work, she
Yes.
just have that unique thing about her. You like,
But
yeah.
even Alec Weck, they put a
Mm.
wig on her hair.
At some point.
Yes. At some point, they put this bob wig on her and it looked
Right.
hideous. It looked hideous. And then she went on the runway with a wig, and we're like,
Mm.
oh no, sweetie, no, no, no. And then, and then she took the wig off. We're like, oh, whew. Because that was like, whoa, what are you doing? It's
Uh,
that. And I do have an agency as well. So I'm sorry, I didn't tell you about that.
oh
I
yeah,
have
yeah, go on. Yeah, I want to know more about that agency.
So the agency is not necessarily something that I'm pushing jobs out, but I'm actually
Mm.
scouting models. So I have been sent a lot of different models. One girl was sent from Dominica, from the diaspora. One was sent from Angola, from the UK, from Nigeria,
Mm.
and actually Miss Angola was mentored by me when she came to New York.
Ah.
And the thing is, I wanted to let them know that even though you're in New York, you're in the hub of the industry and you want
Mm-hmm.
to do your runway, you still need to keep your mind clear. Like,
Mm.
I know it's intimidating when you go to IMG or Wilhelmina or
Yeah.
whatever these companies are called. You feel like you need to, like, okay, oh, you're 130 pounds. You need to lose 15 pounds.
Yeah.
So go on a diet in 2 weeks, you come back. Like,
I'm
who's going
back.
to lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks? It's not realistic, but people will put themselves
Crazy.
through that stress, right? And if you cannot like
Mm.
push through that and understand, okay, I am a model and I really want to succeed, you need to understand that certain things are just not realistic. If they don't
Mm.
want you, they should just tell you, okay, sweetie, you don't have to look for us, but try this company instead of
Yeah.
telling them to lose 20 pounds or 15
Mm-hmm.
pounds in 2 weeks. It doesn't make sense. So, and then also as a black model, you have to understand that
Mm.
being black, you cannot be as skinny as your Caucasian counterparts. Why? Because white and black photograph differently. So I can be a
Mm.
little bit more thicker,
Right.
and it looks just better on me when I have a little bit more fuller look than being bone
Mm.
skinny. It's just not, that's not who we are. Like, we should have some type of like shape, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I was never a skinny, bone skinny model. Even though I'm a size 2, I still got my curves and do my
Yeah.
thing. So if you want to like fit into certain categories, as
Mm.
I said, if you want to be a runway model, you need to go about it a little bit more healthier and don't let these people pressure you. And I've
Mm.
been told many times I'm too muscular because I have toned arms, but that's naturally. I don't do bodybuilding. I was
Mm.
called out, oh, you do bodybuilding? That must be nice, being all toned and stuff, huh? I'm like, hold on, aren't you supposed to be my manager or my agent? Like, are you hating on
So
me
you
or?
should have.
So
Oh,
you have to
funny.
identify the hate and the,
Mm.
constructive criticism. If they're telling you, okay, we really like your look, can you lose 5 pounds so we can see where we can take you? And then once you lose five, because 5 pounds makes a big
Kind.
difference.
Yeah.
Once you lose 5 pounds, we can see what we can do with your look. And that's someone who's talking. It's not
Mm.
about you losing and looking crazy and
Mm.
then just trying to be a part of someone's roster that they will
Mm.
never hire you, you know? So my modeling agency is, I look for unique beauties. I scout them on the street. As I'm
Oh.
also going to take this agency to Africa, I'm going to
Mm.
scout girls in the rural areas, in the
Mm.
villages, and not in the city, because the raw beauties, I'm not saying that I'm, one of the raw beauties, but
I get
I'm
you.
from the
Yeah.
rural area.
Yeah.
There's like the more natural girls who
Mm-hmm.
understand to be beautiful. They still got like, the essence within them. So I'm looking for that. So I have scouted 9 models on New York streets,
mm,
and I had them in an agency. I'm sorry, in a runway show, and I
okay.
had trained them. I have videos of them training them in the park. I wanted to make
Mm,
sure they get used to the crowd. So I teach guys and women,
right.
boys and girls, how to do the runway. I
Mm,
teach them how to take care of themselves. And, I even have selective
mm,
photography, like photographers who
mm,
are willing, to do certain photo shoots to get their portfolio started. So I do
mm,
have a small team there. I have um, a list of makeup artists who would also help these girls to learn like the basics makeup, because
mm,
some of these shoots or some of these campaigns, when you go there, they don't have
mm,
a makeup artist that is
mm,
well like skilled enough to use the skin tones of ours, right? Terrible. Like a lot of these makeup artists, they don't
mm,
know. They come in as stylist makeup artists. They don't know how to do your hair because your hair is too coarse. They're gonna
mm,
struggle with your hair. So these are like the basic things that I teach them. You need to learn how to take care of your own hair.
mm,
Learn like the basic. You better off being natural than putting in a weave or a wig when you go into a go see, because you want to show them your raw beauty so they can see what it can do with the canvas that
mm,
you present in them. So keep your skin clean as possible. Don't eat certain things. Like I teach them what type of food to eat, what not
mm,
to eat. I have a whole curriculum that I
mm,
have written down where I go and say, okay, today we're going to focus on how to pose. Next
mm.
week, we're gonna focus on how to pose in a photo shoot. Next, we're gonna learn how to do runway shows. So, I've been doing this also for another like 6 years. So I'm gonna take that to Ghana as well.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay, that's brilliant. I think what is a producer life? Uh, can you read that question, or you want me to read it?
I am very comfortable with my natural body. Question for Efia: how do you feel about doing nude photo shoots? Okay, I knew this question would come.
Yeah. Okay.
So, so when I started modeling,
Mm,
figure modeling was one of the first things that I got into,
right.
because um, when I was in Germany,
Mm,
I was collecting art. Like I'm an artist. I study art in school, so I'm a musician. So art is like something that's within me. And so when I
mm,
was collecting, photographs and stuff like
mm,
that as a
mm,
teen, I came across an artist called Andreas Bittersnitch. He's a German or Austrian photographer, and he used like the human body as art. So he used to use
mm,
a female body and a male body intertwined into like
mm,
figurey looking, photo shoots. Very,
mm,
very artistic, very, very tasteful, right? I fell in love with that. And I
mm,
said, ooh, that's something that I want to do, because you have to be very body conscious, and you have to know your body and angles very well. So you have to learn the
mm,
pose, and you have to like pretty much got to take good care of yourself. So
right.
nude modeling was something that I started early, even though I was still under the age of 21. I was still
Mm,
able to do tasteful nudes where they were actually, shown in magazines early
mm,
before I even came to America. So when I came to America and I
mm,
had gained some weight, um, doing nude modeling was not something that I was very comfortable with until I
mm,
lost a little bit weight. And
right.
until then, I was doing like fitness modeling and stuff like
Mm,
that. So nude modeling became my specialty. Why? Because a lot of African models or black models wasn't even thinking about that. They weren't
mm,
even thinking about getting into that. So I was known and hired mainly for an artistic type of like, semi nude,
mm,
artistic nude, implied nude photographies. So I have covered books. I have books here that I've been in museums, I've been in exhibits all over the world where I present my nude body in a artistic way without being vulgar. So I was able to actually work with a lot of notable photographers who have, I'm not sure if you know Helmut Newton, who is like one of who's like Herb Ritz, who shot Michael Jackson's video in the closet. He's like one of those people who like one of the great photographers of the 90s and early 80s. Um, I had the opportunity to work with one of his early prodigies and his models when I was in LA. And, I have graced many books and magazines. So for me, it was very important as an African woman because African people tend to be very judgmental coming or looking at these type of work. And they call yourself a porn star in a heartbeat, right? And these things used to hurt me a lot because obviously they were not exposed to these type of work. So when I was able to express my work in a more, subtle manner, in a way that people can appreciate the artistic way, they actually came around and like, okay, you're a little different. Aren't you bold? Oh, wow. Aren't you scared that your parents gonna see you naked? Like, I'm like, hold on, they changed my diapers to saw me naked? Like, what are you talking about? Me as an adult exposing myself as a nude model. I'm not vulgar. I don't do booty shots. I don't do certain things. Like there are certain things that I don't do, and I'm very like to stay classy. And it is very hard. It is one of the hardest modeling categories there is because you have nothing. You cannot hide behind a dress or, you know what I mean? If you're uncomfortable with whatever, you need to like own your body. And so, nude modeling, artistic modeling, or implied modeling is something if you're not bold enough or if you're not comfortable within yourself or your body, that's not for everyone.
Okay. So how can people contact you? Like if anyone, want to work with you?
Well, social media, I'm on Twitter under I am Afua Boni. On Facebook, I have Afua Boni page and groups. Um, I am on Instagram under I am Afua Boni and also Afua Boni. And then I have a website, afuaboni.com. You can email me at efia@efiaboni.com or I'm sorry, yeah, efia@efiaboni.com or efia.boni@gmail.com. So, you can find me. Just type in my name and you find me. So
Okay.
I'm here and I answer every question.
Oh yes, yeah, yes, yes, yes. So, voilà, Efia a partagé tout avec nous. So, pour les jeunes filles qui veulent devenir mannequins, par exemple, elle vous encourage à être, d'embrasser comment la façon dont vous êtes. Vous n'êtes pas nécessairement, vous n'avez pas besoin de faire les choses que les agents dehors vous allez demander, OK, faut mettre les perruques ou faut défriser les cheveux, des trucs comme ça. Donc, elle vous encourage à être fière de vous-même. Et puis, elle a aussi, elle est en train de travailler sur son propre agence de modeling. Donc, quand elle sera prête, je vais partager ça aussi avec vous et plein de choses. Donc, merci une fois encore de nous avoir suivis ce soir et très bon weekend at you. So, Efia, you have a last word for our viewers before we end the stream? Any last
Well,
word?
sure. Thank you so much for having me and
You're
telling my
welcome.
story. I think I hope I could encourage anyone who wanted to get into the modeling field and also to empower ourselves in this time, especially. Do not be still no matter what's going on, if it's in your personal life or if it's in the collective life for Blacks and Brown people in the world. Stay true to yourself, push forward, and don't take a no for an answer.
I love that. Thanks so much, Afia. Thanks, guys, for joining the
Thank
stream.
you.
I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Please go ahead and share the stream, thumbs up the stream, and I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. You know, money, 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 we need that. We have so much we want to do within our community or also on the continent, and we need to have people on board that can explain certain things to us, encourage us when it comes to investment. So thanks everyone for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time. Have a great weekend. So Efia, thank you.
Yes. Thank you for
Bye
having me.
everyone. You're welcome.
Bye.
See ya. See you tomorrow.